Once upon a time, there was a young sailor named Edmond Dantès. A long and happy life lay ahead of him. He was about to marry the woman he loved, become a captain, and fulfill all his dreams. But fate had prepared a very different path for him. Through jealousy, betrayal, and conspiracy, he was accused of a crime he never committed and sent to Château d'If, one of the most feared prisons in France. For the young sailor, years of darkness had begun. During his imprisonment, Dantès began hearing strange sounds from beyond the walls of his cell. Those sounds would lead him to a man who would change his life forever. Abbé Faria. Faria was more than a prisoner. He was a teacher, a scholar, and a mentor. He taught Dantès history, languages, strategy, and the nature of men. In time, he revealed a great secret. Hidden on the island of Monte Cristo, in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea, was a vast treasure. From that moment on, Edmond Dantès' destiny changed once again. He eventually escaped from prison, reached the island, and discovered the treasure exactly where Faria had promised it would be. The young sailor was gone. In his place rose a new man, the Count of Monte Cristo. Rich, powerful, and patient, the Count spent years hunting down those who had betrayed him. One by one, they fell. Some lost their fortunes, others lost their reputations, a few lost their sanity. At last, the long reckoning was complete. The debts of the past had been paid. His revenge was over. Together with Haydée, Dantès sailed away in search of a peaceful life. Everyone believed his story had finally come to an end. But some secrets never stay buried forever. Years passed, and one day, Edmond Dantès made a decision. He would return to Monte Cristo Island one final time. As the sun disappeared beneath the horizon, Dantès' ship sailed toward Monte Cristo Island. For years, he had avoided setting foot there again. Yet now, fate seemed to be calling him back. Standing silently on the deck, he stared at the dark silhouette of the island rising from the sea. It felt as though his past was watching him from beyond the waves. Haydée approached him quietly. After a long silence, Dantès finally spoke. "This will be my last visit." Haydée said nothing. She knew that some journeys were never as simple as they appeared. Soon afterward, a small boat was lowered into the water. Dantès and several loyal men made their way ashore. The wind carried whispers from another age as they followed the familiar path leading toward the cave. Every step brought Dantès closer to memories he had left behind long ago. At last, they reached the entrance to the cave where he had first discovered the treasure. Raising his lantern, he peered into the darkness. Everything seemed silent. Then his expression changed. There were footprints in the dust, fresh footprints. They did not belong to him. As he stepped inside, memories flooded back. He remembered the first time he had entered this cave. Back then, every shadow had seemed mysterious and threatening. The weak glow of his torch had revealed only fragments of the darkness around him. He wanted to believe Faria's story, but after years in prison, hope itself had become dangerous. As he explored the cave all those years ago, one question had haunted him. What if it was all a lie? What if the old scholar had left him nothing but a beautiful fantasy? Then he remembered the moment he found the treasure. Even after all these years, the memory remained vivid. Gold and jewels had illuminated the darkness around him. For the first time in his life, he felt that fate had finally repaid its debt. That day he gained more than wealth. That day he was reborn. Edmond Dantès died, and the Count of Monte Cristo was born. Yet now, walking through the same cave once more, he felt no triumph. Only curiosity, only questions. Had he missed something all those years ago? The lantern light swept across the cave floor. Once again, Dantès' eyes found the footprints. There was more than one set. Several people had passed through here recently. Haydée looked down at them as well. "Someone has been here," she whispered. Dantès slowly shook his head. "No," he replied. "Several people have been here." His men exchanged uneasy glances. Very few people even knew where Monte Cristo Island was located. Yet somehow, strangers had found their way into the heart of his greatest secret. Following the tracks, they moved deeper into the cave. At first, everything seemed unchanged. The same stone walls, the same silence, the same scent of damp earth. Then Dantès stopped abruptly. Something was different. A massive rock formation that had once stood against the wall had been moved. It was a small detail, one most people would never notice. But Dantès knew every corner of this cave by heart. Slowly, he approached the stone and pushed with all his strength. The rock shifted. Behind it, a hidden passage emerged from the darkness. A cold current of air flowed from within the passage. It felt as though another cave lay hidden beyond it. Dantès raised his lantern. Its light revealed an ancient symbol carved into the stone, an anchor and two crossed swords. He had never seen this symbol before. Yet one thing was immediately clear. It belonged neither to the Spada family nor to the treasure of Monte Cristo. This was the doorway to a much older mystery. Dantès extended his lantern toward the opening. Beyond it was only darkness. Yet for a man who had spent his life facing danger, darkness itself could be an invitation. Haydée stepped closer. "Are we going inside?" she asked. Dantès never took his eyes off the passage. "If someone entered before us," he said, "then we need to know why." One by one, they entered the hidden tunnel. The passage grew narrower. The air became heavier. Soon even the sound of the sea disappeared behind them. After nearly 100 paces, the tunnel widened into a vast chamber. The sight stopped them all. The walls were covered in carvings, ships, anchors, swords, and countless symbols none of them recognized. These were not the markings of the Spada family. They were pirate symbols. Dantès approached one of the walls. Then he saw it, a name carved deep into the stone. Despite centuries of erosion, several letters remained visible. F-L-I-N-T. The expression on Dantès' face changed. He had never heard that name before, yet he knew at once that the mystery hidden beneath Monte Cristo Island revolved around this man. As he examined the wall more closely, another discovery caught his attention. A crude map of an island had been carved into the stone. At its center was a large X. This was not Monte Cristo. Then one of the men found a rusted iron ring embedded in the floor. Dantès grabbed it and pulled with all his strength. A deep grinding sound echoed through the chamber as a massive stone slab began to move aside, revealing a hidden staircase descending into darkness. For several moments, Dantès stood at the top of the stairs. The feeling inside him was exactly the same as the one he had felt years ago while searching for Monte Cristo's treasure. Curiosity, danger, and the irresistible pull of the unknown. Together, they descended into the darkness. After a long journey underground, they reached a corridor clearly shaped by human hands. At the end stood a massive stone door. Beside it was a small recess in the wall. Inside rested an ancient metal box. When they opened it, they found only a single object, an old medallion. On its front was the same anchor and crossed swords. Dantès turned it over. On the worn metal surface, only 2 letters remained visible, JH. He had no idea what those initials meant, but he knew one thing. The secret of Flint did not end on Monte Cristo Island. It was only beginning, and somewhere beyond the Mediterranean, a new adventure was waiting for him.